Well, I don't know about others. I can't hear.
Yeah, at least you're talking and we are hearing. Hi.
So, Andrew, we can't hear you.
Now we are okay. We can hear you, but since you start speaking, nothing.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So once again, thank you very much for joining. I think some of you said you haven't heard me. My name is Celestine. I'm the CEO and the founder of the Rwanda Culture Fashion Show. Today's show. So today is about to discuss the discussion of between collaboration, fashion designers and filmmakers in Rwanda. We have our guests. Among our guests, they are fashion designers, they are filmmakers, and they are artists. So among of the audience, you can always ask your questions. So to save our time, we thank everyone who joined. And as I think the purpose of this discussion is to see and find how Rwanda fashion designers and filmmakers can collaborate. I have said collaboration between fashion designers and the filmmakers in Rwanda will bring a lot of exposure in terms of, let's say, talking about the culture. Many designers will be able to show their creativity, even back in the history. So it is clear that collaboration between fashion designers and filmmakers, it's bringing a huge impact. I've been mentioning about the movies made in Nigeria, movies made in South Africa, Western movies. We see there is a lot collaboration between fashion designers and filmmakers. So today we are with Ange Mutoni, who is the CEO and the founder of NTARE GITARE. So, and she's also a photographer. I would like to welcome her. She introduced herself, and then we go to our next speaker, who is Umuheto. Umuheto is a fashion brand based in Ishigara as well. I'm trying to say the name of Umuheto so the owner can introduce himself. We are also with a director of Wicked Boss, which is a film that is trending right now in Kigali. And also the owner will introduce himself. We are also with another very interesting person who has been his actor. He's been doing even in a fashion and the modeling. So, and yeah, and everyone in the team can always ask a question if you have a question. And then by the end of the conversation, we want to a very successful discussion. So to go ahead, Ange, the floor is yours. Yourself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, we hear you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Ange Mutoni. I am a creative director of NTARE GITARE, a fashion house. I am also a photographer and I'm a filmmaker as well. I am so glad to be here. Your voice is gone.
You also introduce yourself and say hello to the audience. All right. So, Amir, can you hear us? If Amir, we can usually trying to connect Xplore. Benjamin, can you hear us and introduce yourself?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, yes.
Yes, can you hear me, Celeste? I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
What do you do?
Yes, my name is Kagorora Benjamin. I'm an artist. I'm also a producer and a content writer. I've been doing music for a couple of years. Like I used to be a producer and the lead artist in the group GBB. And then from there on, I decided to venture into film production because I have a past experience in production and audio. I think in my first project, my first film, which is Wicked Boss. Yeah, I produced Wicked Boss and with the sorry, something.
Yes. We will go through that. We'll go through that. Okay. We'll go through that. This another speaker is CEO and the founder of NTARE GITARE. Can you also say hello to the audience?
I just did.
Oh, you did. Sorry. I'm talking about the UMUHETO. Sorry. UMUHETO, can you hear us? Umuheto, can you hear us? If you can't hear us, Amir, can you hear us as well? So to save our time,
yes.
Our questions to the guest speakers. We start with Benja. So Benja, those who don't know, Benja is a member of TBB. TBB is one of the crew label music that's been in the music industry for a long time. So he's among of the members. So he's also the director, as he mentioned, of the Wicked Boss, which is a film. So
Hello?
Just in brief, tell us a little bit about your film. Tell us in a brief about your film.
Thank you very much, Celeste. This film is a short film, but that we're looking forward to make a feature film. It basically talks about this lady who was new into the work environment, and she had to shift from being in a bad work environment to starting her own business. So what we try to show in this movie is the burdens that young entrepreneurs go through into the world of work. As they come into work, they get manipulated, they get abused, they don't get good contracts, they don't get, there's a lot of things that go wrong in the work environment. But then what we try to show is the solution to this. We try to encourage.
I'm in trouble with everybody.
We can't hear you. You mute your.
Sorry, can you hear me? Sorry. We try to show the solution as the entrepreneurship as the solution for young people to get involved.
Okay, so yeah, if you think maybe you can take the video off if you think sometimes the internet is not well. If it doesn't work well, you can take the video off. So that is the film of Benja. And talking to Mbera, can you hear us now? Okay. So Benja, continue to you. Why do you think, what do you think about collaboration between the fashion industry and filmmaking?
I think the collaboration for me for me, it was a very big. It like participated the most in my film, because it gave my film fashion, gave my film value. It added value to my film. So and I did this by partnering with one of my friends who was a fashion shop. It's Kigali Threads. So what I did is I realized that it was a big deal, and I didn't have that much of a big budget to really go for the highest. Also, I needed to find someone I can collaborate with, someone can see the value of showcasing their product in my film, because I couldn't go. So when I went to him, and then I proposed to him. I was like, I have this film, and it's about this, and we need the costumes. And he felt the need to really also, because it's a new brand, he felt the need to work with me so that he can also get to show.
Okay, Benj, let me cut you in short. So I'm asking you the collaboration. It's clear that now for your film, which was will be the next question, it's clear that your film, you are collaborating with local fashion designers. But I'm asking you, how do you see collaboration between fashion designers and the filmmakers in Rwanda in general? How do you see that collaboration?
I think it's not yet intense. It's very people still don't see that they need to collaborate. You find everybody wants to make a piece of money from everyone else, but then it's on a very low scale right now. But it's very important that at least people start to understand that we need to collaborate so that we can have many products instead of being hard on each other. And then we find you don't have exactly. So because if I can work with a local fashionist, then they can also present. They have a way of presenting their. But people don't understand that collaboration. The need of being of showcasing your clothes in a film. So I think it's not much at this point, but we need to keep collaborating as new producers and new fashion designers.
Okay, thank you. So you can see it's not there. We'll get there to see what should we do. Ange, can you hear us now? If you can hear us, what do you think about collaboration between the fashion designers and filmmakers? You are also a fashion designer and a photographer. So tell us, how do you see that collaboration?
Answer the question that you've asked me.
Yes.
How do I see collaboration between filmmakers and fashion designers? I think these are places and environments that we're just venturing into as creatives. We're just learning. We're just getting to know how things are done. And so most people, I would say maybe on the side of fashion designers, you find that most people don't have enough information on how to collaborate together with other people. Like the first speaker just said, he said that, you find that everybody is doing things on their own. It's not because we don't want to collaborate. It's not because we don't want to take part in what's happening. We just have very little information. People in general just have very little information on how to work together.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Because when you look at film and fashion design, these are things that are intertwined. And also on the film side, I would say mostly film directors. You find that when somebody's coming up with a film, when somebody's getting ready to do their film, these are not the things that they think about. The way you think about raising money to do your film, the way you think about hiring, actors in your film should be the same way you think about the costumes or the clothing that are going to be worn in your movie. But usually people will just tell somebody, an actor, an actress, bring what you have. If you have a pant, if you have
Oh, we can't hear you.
Yeah, we lost it. We lost her.
Oh, sorry.
Seriously, do you hear me at least?
Yeah, but she was right about
Yes.
the
Yes,
So can you
yes,
hear?
yes, we can hear you. Yes, you're back.
Yeah, so I was saying that, you know, like in any industry that is new or that is coming up, there's always a need to teach people or to bring these things to light, as you're doing right now. So that, okay, the fashion designers are open to collaborations, film directors are open to collaborations. If you're doing a film, you approach fashion designers, you say, okay, I'm doing this film, it's about this, it's about this. Do you think you can collaborate on this film? What do you think you can bring on the table on this film? Because if you look at, you know, the biggest designers that we look at or that we love, the Chanels, the Yves Saint Laurent, all those people did collaborate. Like we have movies that we know, like Breakfast at Tiffany's, that, you know, where a bit of the two merged together. We know which clothes were in Breakfast at Tiffany's. We know Breakfast at Tiffany's as a movie. So we know that there are two artists in Tiffany or in Breakfast at Tiffany's, where the fashion designer is showcasing their clothes and where the filmmaker is doing their film. So there are two industries that complement each other. And also, I would say the other thing that we need to think about is if you're a fashion designer, you usually, fashion designers, we usually fall in love with people. We fall in love with figures, with silhouettes. So if you know that they are if you know that there are actors or actresses that you love and you're a fashion designer, you reach out to those actors and you offer them to dress them for their next film. If they have a film coming up, you offer to dress them when they're in that movie.
Okay, and so thank you very much. Before the next speaker, can you're working on your movie. Can you tell us in a brief about that movie? And also, can you answer the question, when you are creating a design, do you know who is going to wear the clothes? Do you ever think design clothes for filmmaking, for makers? Do you see your parts as a designer who can design to that industry?
So I don't know if I'm hearing the radio. Is that a radio?
You say what?
I'm hearing the radio. Are you hearing the radio?
Yeah,
Okay.
someone's radio is on.
Ah, okay. So yeah, we can kindly ask if somebody is not speaking, you can unmute so you can speak when you go to, you can unmute when you go to speak so you can be much better. Yes, Ange, go ahead.
Yeah, so to answer your question, your first question about the movie that I'm making, yes, I'm making a movie, which is a collaboration between country and Uganda. So it's a movie that is aiming at showcasing both our culture, language, things that are common to us. It's about love. It's about tragedy. It's about family. So we are beginning shooting this coming January, and we hope we are aiming at releasing the movie in April. You know, around the Bonane, in the weekend of Bonane. And it will be showing in cinemas here and in cinemas in Kampala as well. Yeah, also we have actors from Rwanda and we have actors from Uganda. So it's basically a collaboration of the two countries. And we are also two producers on it. There's a Ugandan producer and there's myself. So to go to
So, to interrupt you, are you working with fashion designers, or you are just working as you only, or you are collaborating, or you are considering working with other fashion designers to design clothes and outfits of the movie?
So personally, I am not thinking about any designer that I'm going to be collaborating with, but we have a stylist. We have a group of stylists that will be collaborating with designers who I don't know yet, because usually that is the job of the director mostly. So usually the director knows what kinds of designs he wants in his movie. So those people are still being contacted. I'm not sure which ones, but we will be, we'll be working with designers. That's true.
Okay, so, okay, continue. Yes, the next question was?
The next question was, do I think about, when I'm creating, when I'm designing, do I think about the people who are going to wear my clothes? Of course I do. Of course I do. Before I even make something, it's because I've already seen it. I've already seen where it's going. I've already seen the person wearing it. I've already seen that they are beautiful or they are not beautiful. I've already seen whether they are successful. So those are some of the things that inspire me to design. And also mostly myself, really. Like, so anything that I've ever designed, whether it's a dress, whether it's a suit, whether it's a shirt, I always know who I want the shirt to be worn by. I always know who I would like to see the suit on, but it's not always the case, because that is fashion. I can create something thinking that maybe to go to a wedding, or thinking that maybe somebody will wear it in their office, and somebody doesn't wear it to the office or to a party, because fashion is subjective. Everybody has their own way of how they see things. So of course I create with an image, but the people who buy my clothes always have their own fantasies or their own images of where they would like to. And I love it. I love that when people buy my clothes, they do things I didn't think about when I was creating the clothes.
Okay, thank you very much. We will be back to you for some other questions. So now let's take the next speaker to say hello to us. Umuheto, can you hear us? If you hear us, you can mute yourself and greet the audience and tell us straight ahead, how do you think about the collaboration between fashion designers in Rwanda and filmmakers? So, Umuheto, can you hear us? If Umuheto can't, Amir, can you go ahead? Mbera Amir, can you go ahead?
Yeah, I do. I hear you, sir. How are you?
Yes, good. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you very much for giving me the stage. My name is Mbera Amir as well. I'm filmmaker, exactly an actor and screenplay writer. And about fashion industry, I'm co-founder of IREBE Model Agents, and I started my career in 2009 in the Max Agents. I think, Seriously, you already know that. And I enjoyed my fashion till 2012 when I opened my own agents called IREBE Model Agents. And now I'm working in social art as organizer of Rwanda International Movie Award. Rwanda International Movie Award is an event that's rewarding international filmmakers it's just like to recognize the things they have done. Actually, last year we had 43 countries in Rwanda attended the Rwanda International Movie Award 9th edition, and I'm coordinator of it. Yeah, that's me. Basically, I like fashion so much, but I'm trying to get old. I don't think I have strength to do that anymore because it's it's hard to me right now. But seriously knows that in my age, I tried my best to make it happen. Yeah, right now Oh, I have something I want to share with you. I mean, the audience, before I share the stage with my colleagues, I just want to share my experience about fashion industry and collaboration between fashion industry. As Ange said, fashion and film, they are in the same umbrella called creative industry. Yeah, creative industry is a combination of those things related to art and uh, fashion in movie industry is like an envelope. It's like an envelope that can help or support people to understand the takeaway message you want them to take. Yeah, if you want to create a film, is easy, but if you want people to take it as a thing, to take the message you want to deliver, you're supposed to have, I mean, fashion designers to help you to package the actors, to decorate people, to make things happen. Yeah, that's how I think collaboration is. It's inextricably twinned. I mean, fashion industry and film industry, they are inextricably twinned because if you don't have fashionistas, I don't think you can package your things as a professional. Yeah, for me as a researcher, I try to correct the data about the fashion industry and movie industry that can help the upcoming artists to think about the fashionistas when they are creating their stuff. If you're writing the script, you have to care about how the look and feel of it before you share it with your team. I mean, director and DOPs. You have to have the image of that things you're creating. That is very important if you share the story with your directors or the DOPs. They the first question they ask you is, how do you think this thing would how do you think the people will take this thing? What do you want people to take what do you want people to take from this creation you are creating? That thing is almost where you think, I mean, I need a character like Ange, blonde one, long hair, lipsticks, things like that. Yeah, you're describing people you want. I think you know that the beauty pageants combining, I mean, fashion, clothes, and makeups and other values for or the body. Yeah, I think I can stop here, then you can ask me the question if you have it.
Yes. So thank you very much. Of course, one the question I want to ask. By the way, in the Rwanda International Movie Awards, do
Yes.
you tell us how do you collaborate with fashion designers, by the way? Because there are so many movies you have mentioned. There are more than 40 countries that have been presented. But talk about the movies, our local movies. So can you maybe mention a few movies that were made in Rwanda and there is touch of fashion design?
Actually, in Rwanda International Movie Award, we are recognizing people called costume designers. Costume designers are people that they are giving the values the movies. I mean, they are creating the look and feel of it. In this edition, we had the Nigerian one, Nigerian that called Stanley Ajalaja. I mean, is one of the best costume designer of the year. I mean, 2023. And now, about the movie you have done, I mean, yeah, you have seen it, Mr. Celestine. We had another fashion designer, local fashion designer called Ikome designers, I think. They came, they bring the costumes, all the things we wanted to wear. I mean, color of the shirt, color of everything. Because if the importance of that costume designer is to I mean, to create some combination, good combination of the colors. I mean, state designers and costume designers are collaborating hand in hand because they are packaging the things. Set designers I care about. I mean, care about the walls, care about the landscapes, care about the things that can adding value to the movie. I mean, the fashion designer. Maybe I can wear this blue shirt, but maybe it doesn't fit with my wall. In movie, people, costume designer care about everything, tiny details about, I mean, the look and feel. If I'm looking young when I'm wearing these glasses, he asked me to remove it or to stop wearing it in a movie. I mean, the packaging, the haircut, the everything. They care about that, and about the costume, they care about the colors. Colors is everything in movie production because they create something we call color matching, and the other package called color collection is a part of fashion design. I think some of designers, they know that they care about the colors, how you connect the colors, how you combine the colors. Yeah, that's what makes the movie looks good and cinematic, very cinematic. Yeah, I think I get to the point.
Yes. Thank you very much, Amir. So there are still more questions. Even the one person who asked the questions about the combination, how you said it's like an envelope. So we get there to that question about the fashion and the film. How can it be an envelope? Back to Benja. Benja, you have been on the stage, many stages. In the TBB, you've been wearing his size. Do you see even when talk about a film, we are not talking about the music, but the local artists, when they are shooting their videos, they should be collaborating with fashion designers. TBB, how do you see, I mean, Benj, how do you see that collaboration for directors who direct movie, I mean, film, and even the music, collaborating with fashion designers? Do you see that collaboration there?
Yes, I think for me, from my past experience, fashion has always been it's a big part of music. I think we all know that if a music video has to be really nice, then the designers have to really be, So we did work a lot with designers in the music industry, which is also the same in the film industry. Because if you want something to look so authentic and to look the way, if the story is for the 90s, then you have to get a fashion designer who can give you the feel and the clothes and the feel of the 90s. If your movie is about if it has some futuristic aspects, then you need to get a designer who's gonna give you that, the most trending designs and all that. So on the music part, fashion is like it's right after the music. After being in the studio and making that nice song, the next thing is how are you going to display that song? It's not about the location, but it's about how are you going to be dressed. You can be in a bush, but you're dressed, very well.
But Benja, there is a question that someone commented from the audience where the artist, you don't want to do contribution, like you go to a shop of fashion designer, you want to take clothes to go use in a video, but you don't want to contribute. Can you say about that?
Yeah, okay. Well, that does happen in most cases, and I think I can blame that on the budget of our artists. Most of the artists, even myself, when I was doing my music videos, the budget was high, and then I didn't have everything. So most of the times, we want to make sure that if I've saved $1,000 for a video, then I can't spend $500 on clothes, because there's this camera, there's this. So most of the times, you realize that these guys are looking for friends and someone who has a couple of, and then it also ends up making the product not really 100%, because you're trying to find the cheapest or your friend to really support you, because our budgets are not really that high that they can allow us to be wild in our imagination. So I think that happens a lot, whereby people don't pay designers, because at the end of the day, you find the person planned the man he planned on the filming day. There's even more people that are dressing than he actually. We could ask him, like, I have 2 figures. I want you to dress 2 figures. When he comes to the set, he finds 5 figures. And then maybe he's your friend, and then he tries to also make it happen. But then you find most of the time it comes with before, and then knowing exactly how your collaboration is going to be, to avoid that kind of mistake.
Okay. Yes. We'll be back to you. Thank you very much for that input. Let's go to Umuheto. Rwanda Fashion Show wrote a story about what fashion designers think of working with. Why do local artists, they are not coming to them, or why they come them? Umuheto, can you hear us? Okay, Umuheto, can you hear us? Okay, so let's go to back to Mbera. Mbera,
Yes.
You are in a movie, you are an actor, you are a scriptwriter. So let's ask you personal. When you're writing a script, do you in mind also see how you can involve fashion designers?
Yeah. Exactly, that's my dreams. When I'm writing the stories, I just want in the story writing, there are 3 things very important: timing you are writing in, space, and the third one is people. I mean, consumers. What do you want them to see? I mean, the fashion designers, they're only one in movie industry that can that can tell people the time you are writing in. Maybe if I want to write in 90s, people they can see that, even though I'm not saying it, through the collection people are wearing. I mean, if is fashion is outdated, updates, yeah, things like that. In movie industry, when I want to tell a story about 19s, the people must look like people from that century. Yeah, even the time is that, and the space. If it's Africa, if it's Europe, if it's America, they have different looks. I have to differentiate through the fashion. Yeah, I think you understand me what I mean. Uh, if I'm writing, the first thing I want to care about the most is how the people will see my creation. Yeah, that's it. Oh, Celestine is going. Can't you hear me? Oh, you are muting also. Unmute.
Yeah, Celeste has left us, but he'll be back, I think.
So Mbera, we had your point, but let's talk about directors. Do you have a policy in Rwanda?
I can't hear you. Can you repeat your question, please? I can't hear you well.
In Rwanda International Movie,
Oh, I can't hear you.
Okay.
Seriously, are you there?
Others, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
So, do you hear the point? Do you hear the point?
No. I'll just if you have a policy, I don't get anything else.
The policy about in Rwanda International Movie Award. Do you have a policy that is supporting fashion designers in the future? Or do you consider that?
I mean, I want to share with you the very important information. Last night we had a good news from government of Rwanda. We got Ministry of Art in this country right now. It simply means that maybe last year, 2022, we have already made awareness about the thing called intellectual property right. You get the point. In that intellectual property right is where the policies are made. I mean, before yesterday, we don't have any policy regarding to fashion designers, creative artists. No, we didn't have it before, but now I think we have it because we are going to reinforce intellectual property rights, where we're going to have some entities. I mean, ministry, unions, federation, and councils. I mean, we are going to have it because we were dealing with Rwanda Film Office, but Rwanda Film Office are not policy makers. I mean, the ministry are one of the policy makers we'll be having maybe next year, in January or whatever. In Rwanda International Movie Award, we are just in a private company that's organizing the event called Rwanda International Movie Award that's rewarding it's just like an Oscar award. It's an academic award. We can't even have a way for establishing the policies, but in collaboration with the Rwanda Radike, I mean Radike, you know it. Radike is Rwanda Linguistic and what? I don't remember well.
Rwanda Heritage Academy.
Yes, we had partnership with them before they closed. Fashion as a cultural identity and as a cultural product we can sell on the market, where they stick and they patent the imigongo, they think like that related to the fashion industry. Yeah, I mean, for now, Radic is closing, and we are opening a new, Ministry of Youth and Art in Rwanda. I think the thing will be very good, more than in last time.
Okay, thank you very much, Amir. We'll be back to you. So go to Ange. Ange, why do filmmakers, according to filmmakers we talked, you fashion designers, but you're gonna talk in between because you're also a photographer and a fashion designer. The filmmakers, they say the clothes of yours are expensive. Can you explain why it's expensive and what do you think can be done so filmmakers can be able to collaborate with local fashion designers?
So I would say that, of course, fashion designers and clothing that we are creating in Rwanda right now is more expensive than we're used to. And that should be expected because we are used to cheap second-hand clothes that we don't know who was wearing it before. And of course, it always comes cheaply again because it has been worn, it's old and everything. And so when you go even to the new clothing that we have coming into the country right now, it is always made with the cheapest, most retarded fabrics. So if we try to compete with China and the clothes that are coming in the country, obviously we're going to be producing low quality things, which is something that we're trying to fight because people already have in their minds that fashion fashion in Rwanda or clothing or made in Rwanda is cheap, made in Rwanda is made badly, made in Rwanda. That is the thing that we want to rub out of people's minds. We're trying to teach people that, okay, what we're doing is not as bad as you think. Try it on, see how it's made, see the fabrics that we are using. So obviously all these things are going to add to
We lost you, and
thank you. Hear me now?
yes, you are back.
Yeah, so I was explaining there's no way something that we make here is going to be at the same price as something made in China. It's just not going to happen right now where we are. Unless if you want to buy
Yeah.
the business.
Yeah, but let me also. But do you think local fashion designers are able to design for film? Because that's nowadays there is issues about copy paste among fashion designers. People they don't want to talk about it. Amir mentioned about Migongo. Everyone is like, yo, Mugongo is mine, Mugongo is this one. So then, do you think fashion designers first are able to create something very unique?
Absolutely. 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 We are creating unique things. And also, there's a mindset, of course, because, as we're trying to set the balance of pricing and quality of what we do, it also raises, or it also sends a message that every single designer is expensive. Number one, when we talk about collaboration between movie makers and fashion designers, it's not about money. Like, people have to understand that. People have to be taught, or to, I don't know, like, people have to want to find information that goes with the thing they're doing. If you're a filmmaker, you have to have like full information. If you're a fashion designer, you have full information. So collaboration between movies and fashion designers is not about money, because I also want to sell myself as a fashion designer, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so it shouldn't always be thought or about as, how much money am I going to pay the fashion designer? The question is, can I find a fashion designer who will be able to create the things that I want in my movie, or who already does what when you're writing, you also have to look at the fashion designers that you have in the country, approach some of them, the ones that you feel you can work with, approach them. And also, don't go with a crazy budget thinking that someone is going to create clothing for your upcoming film without money, because I am already also struggling with money. You understand, eh? There's no way I'm going to get a budget,
Yes, you understand. Yes.
a budget that would have helped me create more clothing, and I'll go put it in somebody's movie. It's just not going to happen. But how can we work together? Look at the clothing that someone has already produced.
Let me cut you in short. Let's come to any short, interrupt you. Let's jump to Amir. Amir, do you think local fashion designers, they can get interest in the movies? For example, let's say we call or these other movies. If a fashion designer invests in those movies, local movies you have, do you think they can gain a visibility? And what do you think that visibility can impact on their business? Be honest.
Obviously, no, they don't. Yeah, because I just want to explain it. For the people who are consuming those movies, I not even pay. Even the filmmakers doesn't have money. So I mean, the costume designer can get money if the directors and the movie creators don't have money. It's big question. But the point, as Ange said, I want to add something very I mean, in movie industry, we are working our stuff for the low budget, as my colleague said. But the point is, on those budget, we doesn't have, I mean, established policies that can even help people if they don't get money, but they get the credit. We didn't have it before. Maybe you can invest your money in collection, and then you can get visibility, as you said, and you can get even credit for the international market. People can buy. But in Rwanda, we doesn't have even policies. We just have creative industry in stories, in our heart, in our struggles. But briefly, we didn't have, I mean, government doesn't understand everything about these things. They just tell us, you artists, go and do this. You can't even have a loan in the bank if you have a big project like Black Panther, man. You didn't think about that. You can even, I had the hard story about Makanyaga last time. He had an injury in the leg, but he doesn't have the means. How can a simple injury, man? Suffered for that. Even the ministry does. Yeah, I think the government does not understand that before. I hope if we have the ministry right now, I think they will understand us. So they my answer was no, they don't.
So let me jump to Benja. Benja, I've seen the trial of your movie. I can see it is a well-made movie. You said about working with a fashion designer. If it's not a secret, how much did you invest within the fashion designer? All the designers sponsored the movie.
Well,
did you give something
actually,
to the designer?
Yeah, I did. Of course, I did give him something because I had like 10, I had like 12 characters, and they had to change. Each had to change clothes like 6 times. So it's not however much. Maybe he gave me a discount because I'd already pitched this to him, and then he gave me a small discount. I didn't really pay him as much as I should have paid him because I was also operating on a small budget. And also thanks to Rwanda Film Office and also the IREBE that managed to support us with at least the production cost. And but what we did is we managed to at least come to an agreement and see that these are the characters I have, can you provide the clothes that can fit these characters? And then me as a director, I give the job to now the costume designer, to that person to be, I'm like, these are the characters I want. If you can give me this job, then I also give them the part to be creative because they're the designers. I'm not a designer. And then when they are creative, they're also creative towards the budget. It's not going to give you, of course, something that that is not within the agreed budget. So I think most of the time is that we have to increase these collaborations because it's like my friend said, it's a new industry. Everyone does not understand. Even when you go to advertisers or distributors, they really don't understand it when you tell them, can you place your product in my film? It's better than you going to pay thousands of dollars to maybe RBA for an advert. If you place your product in my film, and then I advertise it for you. But then they don't understand that. They're like, no, what are these things? So it's a step by step that takes us to collaborate so that in the process, these people can start seeing that it matters. But then it's really hard. Like for myself as a new film design, as a new film director, I have maybe a few questions for my friend. If you can help me.
Yes,
I'll ask him later.
Wait a second. Yes. Yes, wait a second. Yes, the questions you can ask. We have one question actually in the audience from Claudine. And do you want you to respond before we Claudine? Yes, there's someone called Claudine wants to ask a question. Claudine, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, please. Thank you for this opportunity and thank you for this conversation aiming at improving the fashion and the film industry business. I just wanted to share more input and also share ideas about the industries, the two fashion and the film industries. I think one of big contribution of this discussion is to say how both fashion and the film can work together to improve business, one, then secondly, provide a real Rwandan experience in the filming industry and fashion industry. So I had the concern mainly when Ange was responding on the question of attire, availability of free attires to filmmakers. And I think the most important is to see how ready the fashion industry is to support the film. If I may recap what was said by one of the team members was to say, when they do film, they reflect the period, an event for a period. Assuming there is a film reflecting the 1930, is our fashion team or fashion industry ready to provide attires for the filmmaking? I think this is the point where Ange and the team in fashion can think more about the raw materials and model, if I may call it, or creativity in the sense of providing something Rwandan to a Rwandan filmmaking. Yeah. And also in terms of policy, you know, the government is supporting the private sector making business, leading the economy of the country. So I'm just asking myself, how ready is the film industry members to collaborate among themselves and also collaborate with international filmmakers and also involving the government of Rwanda in that? Because from there, it's when you can have a policy responding to a need. So those are a few questions that I was asking myself and wanted to contribute to this platform so that while discussing, you can continue thinking. And the third one is in terms of, you know, the Rwanda vision is to push the private sector to make money and lead the economy. I'm wondering how someone can just have a film without aiming to make money. This is the case of, I think, Umuheto. Yeah. There is different way of making money out of an event like a filming. I'm not a filmmaker, not a producer, but I think you can have advertisement in your film. You can set sales strategy, yeah, as other international film agencies like Tigres and wherever. They do make money and they pay money when they come to film in Rwanda. So our film industry also have to seek a way of thinking bigger and bolder and gain money out of filmmaking. So we can also be competitive at the international and the regional market. If we are going for having movies with Uganda, with Congo, with wherever in the region, and in the near future, maybe with international, Europe, America, let us be business-oriented thinking rather than just making film and say we don't have money. We have to have money. These are my contribution, and I really want to apologize because I'm called for another meeting. Maybe next time we'll be invited and we'll again be part of the discussion and
Yes,
more
to
ideas.
to interrupt you, Miss Claudine. Thank you very much to be with us. Actually, for those who don't know Claudine, she's from the RDB. The RDB, we invited them and they accepted the invitation. Even though you want to leave, can I ask you one more question, if you don't mind, or if you
Yes,
want to? Yes, Angie, you have a question for Claudine, because I can see you want to respond to some of the questions she asked for you to think. Do you have any question before I ask you one?
No, I don't have a question. I'll think about it, but I don't have a question right now. Maybe to answer, because she had asked, maybe she can just go ahead because she has somewhere to be, and you ask her what, then I'll answer later.
Yeah, so Claudine, the
Thank
question
you.
I have, the question I have is there is also saying that right now in a movie industry, which I will also ask Mbera, the Rwanda International Movie Award, there is the issue that also filmmakers are not together because there is no institution that is really focusing on filmmakers. We know there is Rwanda Film Box, and there is this Rwanda International Movie Award. There is a Rwanda Film Federation. To you, what do you think can really bring filmmakers together? Do you think is it enough for now, the way it is, or you think there's something that can be updated in terms of bring them together, produce big movies like you mentioned? How do you think about that?
Thank you for that idea and question. Personally, I think I had a discussion years ago with Willie when he was still the chairperson of the Rwanda Film Federation. And
he's not.
Yeah, and Dairo Willie. And I wanted to understand the film industry. How are you operating? How you organized yourself? And one of my input was, you guys, you have to think like businessmen and women. The first and abnormal element is to have the federation under RGB. Under RGB means the civil society, not aiming to make money. Yet, film industry worldwide is for money making. So I think one is the government willingness is there. The government is willing to support the film industry, and the reason why we have the Rwanda Film Office and all those partners like GIZ and others coming in, Coopération Française. However, our local members have to think in business sense, be under a network of business people rather than in civil society, and also set up strategy. Just thinking loudly, if you allow. I don't know even if the federation itself have like a vision document on where they want to head as a filming destination. Yeah, so that whoever is coming in can bring in either technical assistance or money, but towards an objective or a vision or a mission. And saying that, I'm happy that the federation have new management and we are heading to 2030 vision. And do hope that you will work on that. Bring yourself together as business owner and businessmen and women, then allow partners and stakeholders to operate in that vision. This is what is missing. And when you are collaborating with international filmmakers who are already in the business and you don't have a business mind in yourself, so how can you make money? Even the discussions on the table, you don't have projection, you don't have a fact to help someone to understand that they have to share money with you or have to share business. So let us think in that sense, take advantage of RIF4, take advantage of partners in filmmaking, and see how we can have like a film development strategy and very specific interventions toward where we are heading Rwanda as a film destination. And in that strategy, it's where you can have even the list of events where Rwanda have to be represented, either locally or at the film market. This is my contribution, and this is what I think can help us to move on and bring the film industry on the top of among sectors bringing money in the country.
Yes. Thank you so much. We know you are going to leave. There is just another question that comes from the WhatsApp group. Someone says, what do you think about the fashion industry? When you talk, you advise the Ange how are they able but someone is asking, how do you think about fashion industry in terms of uniqueness? Do you see that uniqueness in the fashion among fashion designers? That will be the last question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy to share ideas. I think this platform is for idea screening. Then, for me, fashion, when I think about fashion, making it a uniqueness of Rwanda culture, because now we are talking about the Rwandan culture, then it's to see the relationship between fashion industry and the cultural industry. Yeah, there are people dedicated in Rwandan culture, and they think about the food, attire, dance, and everything. How our fashionists are working with that specific segment, that niche of culture, so that you can understand in 1930 or 1850 how Rwandans attire was, and you can create something out of that using our local material. Yeah. So I think the fashion is growing. We do appreciate when you look at like 10 years ago, the fashion industry is growing, but we are still missing that touch of Rwandan specifically in terms of using Rwandan material, raw material. Yeah. Umuntu akambara nk'umunyarwanda arimo gukina filime itari rutanga rw'amaboko wenyine n'ubigerageza. Then you see like how now making it like a modern but customized to the culture of Rwanda in a film. And this require more creativity, more research, more talks, and connecting with people who have knowledge in culture, the Rwandan culture, so they can understand the ideas and create something out of that, and go back and use local material for promotion of the destination Rwanda as a film destination. This is my input on that.
Thank you very much. We appreciate for your time.
Thank
and
you
we
too.
hope next time when we invite you, you will also attend, because we fashion designers and the filmmakers really need your input. Of course, the IREBE as the institution that can really change movie and the fashion industry collaboration in general. And thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you too. Maybe I can share with you the idea that the government is still thinking about the fashion and the film industry. Now we are working and we are about to develop something called the art and cultural tourism strategy that will give the whole country in terms of art and culture. And so the two segments are matching with art and culture. So we'll keep talking, consulting, up to the level where we have Rwanda known for fashion and filming, as we are now known for Visit Rwanda for leisure and MICE. Yeah, thank you. Have a nice day, a nice weekend, very good weekend. Enjoy your weekend.
Hello.
Thank you very much, you too. So now, while we are continuing to our discussion, we are almost going to close as well. So yes, can you go ahead? That's Umuheto. Can you go ahead, introduce yourself and say hello to the audience and tell us about the collaboration between the fashion designers and filmmakers?
Mwaramutse neza.
Yego, turakumva, we hear you. Yeah, he lost again. Back to Amir.
Yes.
So how do you think about the collaboration? Claudine mentioned about the collaboration between the filmmakers, but for you, how do you see the future of filmmakers in Rwanda? Before we ask another question, because we don't know who is in charge. For example, it's just what happened in the media. We remember there's this lady who won a car. She's the one who raised the issue. She won a car, and she's supposed to, in a movie award, and her car was delayed or something happened. So then people, they were much more interested to know what's happening, why the movie industry, they're not able to buy a car for this lady. And then we have Rwanda movie or box or Rwanda Federation. So you, who do you think is in charge of a movie, of fashion, of filmmaking or filmmakers or film industry in Rwanda? And how do you think this person is going to really change the way the industry is now, before even fashion designers join in?
Okay, thank you so much for a good question. I just want, I've been waiting for this question before Claudina goes, but it's okay. I want to start about the thing called professionalism. Professionalism is a thing that is sponsored by government. I mean, the government. We are asking the government to establish the infrastructures and entities. Only that. We are not looking for the government's money. No, 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 no. We are looking for the infrastructures, education. Here in Rwanda, Mr. Celestine, we have only one school that can even give, bachelor's degree for the students. It's called East African University. I've been a lecturer there for 5 years. The point is, in film industry, I refer to the successful countries or developed countries, they have professionals. They make money from that movie because they produce it as professionals. Here in Rwanda, we doesn't even have a ministry. We doesn't even have a federation that can even connect the artists. The point was, before maybe it was hard, but I hope it will be better. As you asked, I want to go straight to the question you have asked. I want to tell you that the government was the one who supposed to establish the entities and infrastructures and incentives. Only that. And let me give you an example. We had big artists this year. If international artists in Rwanda, we had them here in Rwanda, but we don't have any interview of each. At least in Rwanda, maybe Rwanda Broadcasting Agency, they don't even have, ability to interviewing them. You get the point. About that, how can we collaborate? How can we collaborate with international filmmakers without reception? When I'm saying reception, it's just starting in creative industry. Creative industry, is packaged by our culture. Identity of creative industry is our culture. We don't have minister of culture. We don't have art. Now we have it right now, but few months ago, there's no minister of culture. Exactly, they closed it as well. It's closed, man, without putting even the workers in the other places. No, they just closing the ministries as a simple institution. For the part of government, maybe they wanted to establish this big one they have established, but the point was they don't even our government doesn't understand these things as well. When they understand this, as a creators, as an artist, we're supposed to create more artworks, more products, but we're not supposed to, to collaborate with the government or other head of state for developed country for making stability and creative economy. We are just establishing creative industry, but we're not ready to switch to the creative economy because we doesn't have stability of first stage of creative industry. We have to build creative industry first, then we can get back, or we can convert from creative industry to the creative economy. But this is the second step. Well, the first step, I have written to Twitter last night. I thank Mr. President for establishing, this Ministry of Art, because at least is a startup. is the start of being an artist in Rwanda. Now we have a window. Now we have, where you can start being or called an artist in Rwanda. But before, there's no way, man. You even suffer for. Claudine said we are supposed to start in fabrics. Consumables from Rwandan. But when I were in school, I tried to collect. I had teas of writing about Rwanda fashion industry. Rwanda fashion industry. I had the challenge of data. I didn't get data even from the ministry, from the radic, from everywhere, from even RDB. I write an email to RDB, to ministry, and to everywhere that related to the culture about when the clothes started being away in Rwanda. People, they don't know. They don't have data of anything. That's why I'm switching from industry. I went to the data collection. Now I'm in academia system. I'm a lecturer as well. I want to do something that can be there even though I'm not around. I want to collect the data. I want to set up the data, the researches, to sponsor everything that can supporting new generation to be sustainable and enjoying the fruit from that creative economy people are saying. To think about, to think about movie can buy a car for someone is another issue. Now we are struggling for establishing creative industry. Nigeria in 2019, they switched from creative industry, they went to the creative economy. Creative economy is where we can set a thing, then we can get something from it. It's just like football. You don't have academy, you don't have Ferwafa, you don't have anything, and you want money. How? That can't happen. You have to start one by one. We had
okay. So yeah, we ask you. Let me cut you in short. I jump to Ange, so Ange can jump in with that. So Ange, now you have heard most of the comments. So what do you think can be done? And filmmakers can do. First of all, what is missing according to you? What do you think can be done? According from what Amir have been said already, what is the movement, what is happening, what he has been doing. So we'll back to him. But for you, what do you think about that?
Well, I think he's absolutely right. It's been on my end, let me speak as a creative. On my end, it's been extremely frustrating to know that there's no particular place that you can get the entire information that you need. Although I have seen so many establishments that claim to be helping movies or to be helping fashion, but really for me myself, I haven't been able to experience it firsthand. And I live in this country. I should be able to experience that firsthand. So I fully do understand what he's saying, and he's right. And also, like, I'm just going to combine it with what also Claudine said. She was talking about that we need to use local materials. Before, okay, I understand that we would like to see things that are made here from local materials here, but frankly speaking, we hardly have any local materials. I'm sorry. I don't know. We from my point of view, we hardly have any local raw material.
You have a gitenge.
No, gitenge is not a local material, actually. It's made in...
Gitenge is not for us, actually. It doesn't have origin in this country.
No. People are so confused about kitenge. Kitenge is not made in Africa. It's not even, it wasn't even created by Africans.
It's from Netherlands.
You understand? It's not African. Oh. But it's just because it's a cheaper version of all the fabrics that are there. So the market, Africa had the market for it. it doesn't mean now, it doesn't mean that it is it's an Africa raw material. First of all, the raw materials are not here for Kitenge. The ones that we have, they are taken.
We lost. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to mention, maybe I shouldn't mention names. If you see the industries we have here,
okay.
Yeah, that are making, say, fabrics. There are fabrics you can't use for anything. I'm sorry, you can't use. If you go and say, okay, I'm going to use fabrics that are made here, good luck finding people to buy what you've made. So that is number one. So as Mbera was saying, there is a gap. As we're seeing the government promote these other things, there's a gap when it comes to mostly actually filmmaking and also fashion. Because I would like to point out that in movies and in fashion and in music is where you see how far a country is doing in terms of growth.
True.
Yeah, you can speak all you want. You can create wonderful speeches and go give the speeches and write about it. But for the people you're talking to who don't live in the country, the only way they are going to see that the country is growing is through movies, fashion, and music. Because those don't lie. They are not lying. When musicians are singing, they are not lying. When movies are being made, they are not lying. Those are the things that they are used to. I was talking to another filmmaker friend of mine, and he was telling me, I'm not going to go create movies that Hollywood is making because I cannot compete with Hollywood. I want to create movies that are home, that talk about home, that talk about the things that say, if I'm in Rwanda, the things Rwanda is going through, because then I have a chance and I have a good point of view, and there's nobody who's going to come from Hollywood who can argue with me about my culture or about the things that I'm going through. Like, nobody's going to come and tell me your movie is wrong. Yeah, because it's my experience. I live here, you don't live here. So I have the right to tell my stories the way I know them to be true.
Yes.
As long as we keep waiting, or as long as we keep relying on these big movie houses to come here and create their own movies, they also create their own narratives. They also create movies depending on what they've heard about Rwanda. It's very different from a Rwandan filmmaker to have a film made here by Rwandan. So there's a gap, like for our movies to go to Netflix, there's a gap for our movies to go to all these platforms that show movies that are not maybe local. Like, say, if you want your movies to go, you want people who watch DSTV to be able to watch your movie. Like, is there a channel where you can put your movies so that the rest of the African people can watch your movie? So there's that gap. I don't know. Maybe the people who are experienced in movies can tell us. I feel like there's a gap. Most of the movies made here, they end up on YouTube, and that's it, or on somebody's private platform that they've created. Then you find that the rest of Africa, and this is what we want. We want to showcase our culture. We want to showcase our country. We want to tell people, okay, look at our country. We've grown. We are here. We love what we're doing. Because, you hear so many people complain, and you look at their complaints, and they are so not Rwandan. The narratives that are out there about Rwanda are so not Rwandan. But you want to create the narratives that are Rwandan. But then you can't create the narratives that are Rwandan and then show it here in the country. You want it to go out. You want it to go to Africa. You want to, anyway. So that's it. So as far as what Claudine was saying, she's extremely right. I feel like we need to come together, or there need to be a place or an avenue
We lost you,
right?
Ange.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, when it comes to collaborations about movies,
Yes, you can now.
when it comes to collaborations about movies and fashion, again, it starts with us. We can okay, yes, we need the government to help. Yes, we need all these avenues to be there, but it begins with us. Us ourselves don't know how to go about things. For example, for the longest that I've been in fashion, I have never met one person who is saying, I am creating a movie, help me with the looks to put in my movie. So you're not going to go around saying people are expensive and you've never approached them. That's
Right.
number one. Number two, people have to know, again, it's not always about money. If you have a budget for your movie, you know you will need costumes, and you know your costumes are not the things that have already been made. You need someone to create a brand new, say, fashion line for your movie. Be ready to collaborate. At least buy fabric. Approach fashion houses that are that don't work on, I should say, maybe that don't work on, because you know that some fashion designers, they don't have tailors, most like don't have like in-house tailors. You don't have, like, you also need to go hire tailors on the side. It's very, very difficult now to create a new garment for somebody's movie where you're going to buy your own fabrics and then go look for the tailors, pay them. It's really, 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 like, it's just not going to happen. So while you're thinking for your movie, thinking about paying your characters and everyone else, also think about, okay, can I help the fashion designer buy the fabrics that I need to use in my movie? So then they can give tailors if they have tailors. Because if I have tailors, if I have an atelier, I'm not going to refuse to make for you clothes. I might refuse to make maybe a lot of it, but at least I'll give you an offer. I can say that maybe I will dress 5 people. Bring your fabrics, like, that's what collaboration is all about. Collaboration is not that you come, I give you things for free, because I'm also in the business. I want to make money. So I want to help you, and also in your movie, I want credit. I want credit that is tangible, that everybody can see. Find where you can put me, that everybody's going to see my fashion house, which you can do, because again, you are in the picture industry. It's not very, very hard to advertise someone in your movie. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much, and for your input. So let's go to Xplore Rwanda. Benja, what do you think is missing? You have mentioned some other stuff, like what is your input? What do you think can happen? What do you think is missing? Some few lines, what is missing? What do you think can happen to create that collaboration?
I think just like Ange said, we need to be open to each other and be able to know each other, to know that this person maybe has at least a bit of what I want to, if we can approach each other. Of course, there's nothing going to be so free, because there's always a cost in everything. So I think if we can continue sharing the idea, I know you're a big actor, I've seen you in some movies, I've seen you in music videos. If I need you and I don't have that budget, but at least there's something I can offer, and maybe we can both see on how well the film can go as a big figure and as the story. If you love the story, and you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna contribute. If you don't have the budget to pay me, at least pay this and put this in place for me to work. Which also applies to the designers. If I can go to a designer and then I'm like, dress, I have 10 characters, I can pay for 5 and then you can sponsor me 5, or I can buy the fabrics and then you can put in also the work and then I give you the credit and also advertise. Or because at the end of the day, I think like she said, I don't know why most movies just end up on YouTube, and which shouldn't be the system. Because if you can put your product in my film, then it's going to be shown on even international screens and festivals. So it's a plus. It's a win-win for both of us in the long run. But it's about understanding it in the starting process, which is also hard to convince people. It's very hard to convince someone that, okay, my film is going to be this big. But if it's starting and they don't see the picture, you're just at that time, I think you're only telling the person the script or the synopsis. So I don't know how, maybe for Ange, who has had a big experience, and Amir, we've done international film festivals. How is the convincing process? Do you have to do all the projection? I don't know how you do that, but I think if you get to know how you even present this to somebody, it's like Celeste, you do events. How do I come and convince you to be part of, to maybe to print my movie in one of your events, or to, there's that process of knowing how do I do this and how do I start convincing someone who's on a big, because we're all looking for the big end, I'm looking for a good actor. Even if I'm starting, I'm looking for the best actor. If I'm looking for you, Amir, I can't afford you. How do I approach you to ask you for that support and the list that I can provide? Of course, it's not going to be completely free, because it's like we have said, it's a film industry. There's got to be money exchange. But as you all know, we are just starting. There's got to be a way we can, because if we charge me a lot, I will fail to do that thing that we all want to be international, to reach the international screens. I will use a cheap, maybe a starter actor, and then my product will not be as good as I wanted it because of my budget. So we can maybe both of us focus on, as a designer and the actor, we are all in one direction. Like we can focus on putting the bigger budget on the other things that we don't have within us. So instead of paying you, if my budget for the film is 2 million or a short film, instead of paying you 1 million, I can pay you a little bit of that, and then we can put the other money on maybe having a good camera, or if I can get somebody who can give me camera, then I put that money on something else like distribution, something else that we both don't have. Yeah. That's my input.
Yes, thank you so much. And we have one of our as he was, so you can she shared one. He said for him, he think there's a big event that can bring fashion designers and filmmakers together to discuss even more about that opportunity, which I think we can give that to Amir, because you are with filmmakers, you are with you have a media, you have the media, you have the group of filmmakers who can meet with designers and do something. So thank you so much for Talento. Let's go to Amir. Amir, so as we're heading to the conclusion, what do you think like briefly is missing, and what do you think can be done so the collaboration between the fashion designers and filmmakers can really established? Once you are done, if anybody wants to have any information to say or any other ideas, is welcome. Otherwise, once Amir is done, we'll be close to our end of our today's discussion. Amir, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Mr. Celestine. I just want I mean, the same way with my colleagues, I just want to add something that can uh, adding the value of the thing that I'm going to say. I'm blaming the artists to work individually, then it doesn't work. As my opinion, I rather advise you artists, or even me also, to join those institutions Claudine had said. We have a federation of fashion federation here in Rwanda. We have fashion, we have film federation in Rwanda. After working together with those institutions, we reinforce them. In fashion federation and film federation, maybe there are some people who is not pushing. They don't have a pressure of creating. They're just sitting in a position, doesn't do anything. If we join them, we can put pressure to them and help them, reinforce them to do something is right. And after being in that institutions, we can do something very important. You can make something you have started on. Collaboration. Collaboration of institutions is easier than collaborating with individuals. After being in those institutions, you can collaborate with, for example, police. We have someone who is in charge of film in police. We can use their uniforms. You can use their guns in movie production. But individually, they can't trust you to give you the guns or whatever or another things which is update for the government. But if we have if an institution is asking for that, it's easier to believe them because it's institution to institutions. No one can be responsible to give us the things without as individuals. Is very hard. The other thing, we can even approach the bankers. The money. They can finance the project. You can have a loan. You can have even the house to protect but they can't give you money for producing movie because they don't trust that the money will be back. You get the point. As individual, it's hard and very complicated to approach people. But if you're going as an institution, people can understand you. Artists, let us wake up and go there, fighting with my colleague artists to get our freedom. Or no, it's not freedom because we are free. To get our rights. This is a right. To get our rights. If we have people who are not moving, we have to push them to move. Exactly, they must move because we want to get something ahead. Oh, as me, you can't spend money twice or in movie production because movies is too expensive. Your own money. We are in the same age. We are struggling for money. As Ange said, if I have 10 million, it costs me to work like 5 years to save 10 million. How can I spend that money for the thing that I will distribute on YouTube? It can't even meet the standard of Netflix. It can't even meet the standard of Netflix because Netflix is asking for infrastructures, as my colleague said. Benja, you must be working with RDB. Seriously, let me tell you the story. Actually, I'm working with the Kigali Bossy Babes now. We had a shoot. We had a shoot few weeks ago. We wanted a helicopter to Chinigi or whatever, but they cost us, man. They cost us like 3 to 2 million from Kigali to Musanze. There is no partnership. There is no partnership between artists and there's no partnership between artists and public entities. It's very hard to us. It's very hard to us because you can't even afford everything as an artist. We don't have money. We have creation in us, but money we need. To collaborate with people who can be sponsors let me talk about a small thing, maybe can help. It's called production chain. In the production chain, we need three people. We need the creator. I mean, us, we are creators. We need producers. We need a composer. Maybe distributors will come after having a good product. But that three people, we're supposed to have them in start from the first place. Government now established the ministry, but we don't have an artist. I mean, capable artists in those institutions. We're supposed to dive in. We're supposed to go there, approach them, compose with them the thing we want, the vision we are facing. They think we don't think about it, but we do. We do. We know what we want, but we don't have platform to speak like this. Thank you for this opportunity you give us. I mean, you are the only one who have had the conversation like this one in this country in 5 years ago, since 5 years period. So what we have to do is to collaborate with institutions, but as an institution, to join unions is easy thing. To join federation is easy thing, but you're supposed to be the member. After being the member, fighting for a right through institutions we have joined to get, I mean, the right they owe us. I mean, institutions, collaborations, and distributors. I mean, maybe the government will mobilize I mean, I have seen Mr. President deal with the boss of Netflix yesterday.
Wow.
The boss of Netflix was here in Rwanda discussing with with president about, maybe they mentioned the things that is related to us. Yeah, if that chance is coming, let us be ready to get it, because we work in, I mean, we're supposed to work in institutions and collaborate with them. And the other thing I want to tell our artists, let's join the schools. Let's join the schools. If we know, if we have skills, people will come for us. I mean, last time I had challenge people from Zimbabwe. They had film here in Rwanda. We have a gap of technicians. The technicians are not are not ready to do that. Yeah, the thing even the materials is hard to get it because it's so expensive. I mean, we can first thing to join our institutions, to reinforce them, and we can even cooperate with. The things can be easier. If you collaborate with RDB, you can get park and a gorilla park. If you collaborate with police, you can get consumables, uniform, guns, cars, everything. If you collaborate with maybe Minister of Sport, you can have stadiums or museums. Everything can be easier if you have an open partnership with institutions. That's what the government doesn't understand before, but maybe we hope that they will understand it now. Yeah, that's my point.
Thank you so much, Amir. Ange, so do you have a message to conclude? Do you have a message you want to send to local fashion designers, even local fashion designers also? There is this rumors that you are not collaborating as well. There is this rumors there are groups which operates in one institution in another. So do you have a message to send it to local fashion designers related to the topic of today?
Okay, thank you so much. First, I would like to correct myself. We don't miss raw materials. There's a place where I said that we don't have raw materials. We do have raw materials. I would like to correct that. We have raw materials. We don't have the industries to process the raw materials and the technology needed to create the creations that we would love to create as fashion designers. So that's what I was meaning when I said that which raw materials. No, we do have raw materials. I really would like to correct that. So that being said, the other thing that I would like to say is that for sure, I know this to be true, is that our government is ready to back us up as artists, as you've been seeing it. That is why you see there are systems being created, or even some systems being dismantled and then creating other. It's because maybe the system that was there was not doing what it is supposed to do. See what they are missing, see where we can advise them, because it's us that are on the ground. See where we can advise, see the things that we can say, okay, so we need this in place. Like Mbera was saying that they were looking for a helicopter and they couldn't get it. You know, they should be able to get you should be able to get a helicopter, because we have helicopters bringing people from these ends to those ends. So with the right partnership or with the right institution, as you were saying, for example, there are institutions, there's the film box office, there's, you know, like all these institutions should be able to push for something like that where an artist needs it. I would think maybe, and for the new institution being created that Claudine told us about. She said it's called Arts and Culture Tourism Strategy or something like that. So we don't know when that will be available. Yeah, we don't know when that will be available, but once it is, it should make things easier. So my message, you were asking my message for the fashion designers, it's still the same. It's collaborating with each other, even us ourselves, collaborating with each other. And there's a question that Miss Claudine asked, saying that, are we ready as fashion designers? Are we ready for movies? Of course we are. If you look at the fashion designers right now we have, also we don't want to confuse fashion design, like someone doing fashion and someone doing costume, even though costume also falls under fashion. But as you know, we have costume designers in this country. We do have them, people who do, say if you were creating a movie that has people going to space, you would find someone who can make something like that. Okay, maybe not to the standard that you wish, but you would. Mbera is laughing. I hope he's not laughing at me. He's talking to someone. He's laughing at me. So I need you to trust me that the fashion designers we have right now, we are capable, we have capabilities to design anything you want. Given the right infrastructure, the right technology, the right industries, creating the things that we need to create those things. But as brains, as people who think, as people who come up with designs, we are ready. Brains are at large. People are talented. Unless you haven't been to any fashion show, people are extremely talented. And as far as people copying each other, that is always going to be there. I want like to bring people to a certain understanding that something called intellectual property. I mean, it's very, very hard to protect intellectual property. You can try, but it's extremely hard. So somebody's going to copy you. And for me, I always say it's a good thing. I don't know. But for me, if someone copies something that I'm doing, I always think, okay, well, great. The thing that I've created, people love what I'm making. So yeah, great. But of course, also like we want to push for people to think, like you were saying, outside the box. Like try to come up with your own thing. But when you look at fashion designers, even international fashion designers, if you look at Chanel, look at Fendi, look at Louis Vuitton, they're all copying each other. Yeah, of course they don't come and take the entire shoe somebody made and go make the same, but they are somehow being inspired by each other. If you see the fashion seasons, you will find that there are same things happening on the runway in Paris, in New York. Mostly it's always the same thing. But of course, we push for that creativity and everything, but people shouldn't stop creating or even, spend a lot of time complaining about people who copied whatever they did. It's a terrible thing to copy, but if someone copies you, then you're doing great. Go ahead and create more things better than you created so that, people can also get things to do. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Ange. So Amir, do you have any message to give to filmmakers before we close?
Okay.
Yeah,
Ange,
okay,
do you
Ange, go
have
ahead.
something to add on?
Yeah, the message I'm giving.
We can't hear you.
I think it's a connection.
So Ange, we lost you. You said the message?
I said for the people who are creating movies and they feel like they don't have support when it comes to costumes in their movies, just approach fashion designers. Approach, like how you go to look for a job.
They can approach you, say it.
Yes, approach me. Approach me together.
We will.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you so much, Ange. So Amir, your message to filmmakers?
Yeah, I just want to tell them that they have to work hard and be creative more than they do before, because we have now where we can share our things, where we can get support. Yeah, I think we have to convince them through the things that will be working. Yeah, that's what I can tell them.
Yes.
Now we have reception.
Sorry?
Now we have reception. Maybe we cannot opposing the ministry, but we can composing with them. Yeah.
Yes. So Benja, can you also send a message to artists and younger filmmakers who are starting their journey to be filmmakers? Do you have a message for them?
My message, of course, to other filmmakers, even myself.
We can't really hear you well. Can you repeat? You can't hear you well.
Ange said to keep no limit. You can't limit people, but the moment you create it, then that's not. And then keep. I was saying, what we have to do is we just have to keep creating, to of course beat the odds, and then as well we have to increase the collaborations, look for each other, and make it be open to each other in case anyone has a project. Like I'm definitely looking forward to reaching out to Emil for some support on my next project. And if this can continue, we can keep creating such platforms for dialogue. It would be definitely very helpful, so that we can keep sharing with who has a project and what support do you need. And I think between all of us, we can start with each other and help each other where necessary. We can keep on communicating and exchanging ideas with definitely with Emil, with Celeste, and with Ange. I'm looking forward to our collaboration first before we even go into increasing collaborations. I think we should have to first collaborate with each other. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, every month is of and audience to this praise God Ange. She really help you to action very nice style. So if you're filmmakers, praise you go.
Has our host left us?
So I mean, now you know where to go. So and you need
seriously, I have some requests to you, if you don't mind.
Yes, go ahead.
I think I don't know when you will be here in Rwanda, but I want to set you up for the big conversation. I mean, for big panel discussion. I mean, even the condition, the thing will be in Rwanda, because we want audience to understand what we are saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you reach here in Rwanda, I organize it. I will invite you as a hoster. Then you can help us. I mean, you can.
Oh, please, Amir, do it. Do it. I promise my presence to be there, and Ange is gonna be there. Even Ben is gonna be there. So yeah, please, we are the starting team.
So can we connect? I mean, this is big thing. According to the thing that we organized, I think we can connect our diaspora because our diaspora understood this than us. I mean, you can connect our diaspora and us. I mean, local people. When you can invite them for discussion, then you can invite them for big meeting that will be annual event in Rwanda where you can discuss about the creative industry and deep. Maybe five editions will be, I mean, the opening doors for others. Yeah, I hope that can help because discussion is very important. We are sharing the data. People they don't have data to start. Sometimes I heard the people in my is my colleague. He asked me that he's a big artist in Rwanda. He's here. I mean, he asked me if it's possible to get a gun in Rwanda. I was like, you didn't know that we are allowed to have gun in Rwanda for movies. He said yes. I was so shocked about that. But if you come, we can organize a big thing in Rwanda. Please do.
Yeah. So this was very amazing. I wanted to thank you very much. Thank the audience, to thank younger people, thank the younger generation who will watch this. It's been live on YouTube. There is a link. People will still watch it and watch it. What we have discussed today, it is clear that it is the beginning of the next other discussion. So once again, thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. We kindly ask filmmakers, fashion designers to keep working together, to keep collaborating, so we can have a very big two industries in a 10 to 20 years ahead for our children and our younger generation. Once again, thank you very much for joining, and have a great weekend.
Likewise.
Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate so much for the platform.
Thank you, Aunt. Thank you. Every time. Yeah, anytime. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.